Good evening and welcome to Die Dragon Die presents Dread and Circus, Episode 0B, Masters of the Circus. I'm your DM and host Marty, joined by Adam, Ahmed, Mark, and Tim. Wow, we've got a full house here tonight. Full house. The best 90s, 80s show ever? No.
One of them.
Lucas is already cheering for UG in episode 0A, I guess it was. We rolled up some random gladiators off of these tables that we cobbled together. And the stream rolled up two guys. They rolled up Norman, or what did we rename him? Edward. And then we also rolled up UG, who is basically going to be perhaps the god amongst men in the gladiatorial arena. Each of the players that showed up got to roll up a gladiator, and the gladiators had their first fight at what we called the Crypt Head Arena, which is one of the official arenas of the Imperial Circus. So little did these slaves, who are now being dredged along the road of sorrow towards the imperial capital of Invosa, know...
Marty.
Yes.
Not slaves. We're employed prisoners.
Little do these slaves know, they now have standing and official record in the Imperial Circus. Their employee numbers have been written into a register. And that was such a really pleasing game to play. Like, the only prep that I did for that game was coming up with the map. That's the only prep I did for that game. Oh, and the big charts, I guess, because that was a lot. That was actually a couple.
We could tell.
Ahmed, you're off the boat.
What happened? No, he got disconnected somehow. Weird as character died.
Ahmed, you know that third level character you're building?
Yeah, he's second level.
First, being second, right?
All right. So we're going to shift away a little bit from these slaves who eventually, if they do get down the road, will start to encounter people with money who are involved in this system in the Imperium. Now, the Imperial world of Tarak was partially conquered long ago. There are two continents of concern, one Empirica and the other one Stygia. Also, these continents were named by the Imperium because that's what you do when you win. You get to put the letters into the Atlas. So, we're gonna go away from these fine slaves for a moment and kind of transport ourselves to the imperial capital of Invosa, which is a teeming metropolis of conquered cultures. The Imperium has been here for several hundred years. This is where their song gate to other worlds is, and through which money and trade flows. It is the safest place in the Imperium, at least on the world Tarak. It is also the seat of several important people. These people being, and I'm bringing these folks up, given that we're going to be playing the Masters. Forgotten Grim, how's it going? The Sovereign Prince of Imperial Avacia and Stygia, currently too young to hold the true reins of power. And Stygia is a continent in conflict, so that whole title about being the Sovereign Prince of Stygia is sort of in name only. But he's a young boy. The true power remains with these three others. The Imperial Dowager, who is the grandmother of the Sovereign Prince. The Regent of the Imperial Avacia and Stygia, or actually it would just be Avacia. No, he's ruling in the prince's name. The true ruler of the continent of Avacia, at least until the coming of age of the Sovereign Prince. And then we've got the Grand Duke of Stygia. This guy is a warlord who is currently in the process of conquering that second continent of Stygia, the place where those unfortunate slaves were originated. I'm not going to show you the tokens for these characters. Some of these tokens are going to be surprises, as I found really great images for them, And I don't want to share those images until they're actually tokenized and are actually game pieces that we move across the board. Kind of like Facebook avatars. Okay, so those are the people that are sort of like the rulers. You don't have to make knowledge checks to have heard of these people before. It's like, who's the president? Maybe it's a DC5 knowledge check. Like, it's kind of like... Although I think actually let's keep this stream not political. How about that? There are also some other important people that I'll just sort of go through, and feel free to ask questions about them. And you can also go and visit the stuff that we have in the OneNote. This is for the players. The High Pontiff of the Five-Faced God. There is a single person that rules over the religion of the Five-Faced God, which is the main god of the Imperium. There's the Commissioner. He's also a count. He's the Commissioner of the Imperial Circus. Now, the Imperial Circus, picture it as not just one Colosseum. That one Colosseum, or three of them at the center of the great city of Vinvalsa, is kind of like the pinnacle, the A-Leagues, the NHL, the like NFL of football. Or of gladiatorial combats. But they're also like soccer, many leagues that go down from there in sort of like a pyramid. So this is regulated and tracked all the way down to, oh, you got into a fight with your neighbor, go down to like the dueling pit and, you know, beat each other up for the glory of the crowd. So the Commissioner is at the head of all this. He is part of this this awful human aristocracy of the Imperium that keeps this grinding machine going. Then we've got the High Warden, who is basically in charge of the police forces in the metropolis itself. He has the distinction of owning probably the most number of quote-unquote slaves at any given point in the city, although that number is constantly in flux. Effectively, any prisoner under his charge could find themselves, and some often do, inside of the inside of the Colosseum.
What?
Executions are no longer a thing unless they're in the Colosseum. Now, being a gladiator or a slave in the city prisons, they do not look after their slaves well, and in fact, a lot of the fodder slaves come from the city. And it's a place where you don't want to be. It is, however, a good place for a master to go and pick up hopeful gladiators that have high potential if you are able to somehow sift through the sickness, disease, and riffraff to find the right ones. The High Warden is universally hated. Crowds don't like him, and the gladiators and slaves don't like him. He's just doesn't like him. Nobody likes him. There are some famous slave lords. Slave Lord Pompilius Purpura is one of the best. He acts as a middleman between many sources of slaves and rich slave owners of the Imperium. Unscrupulous, but hardly a fault in his profession. He is near retirement, however, and if you manage to find a deal with Purpura, you're either getting screwed over or you're getting the best stock. There are a number of grand houses or grand luduses of gladiators. I'm going to rifle them off because stuff. The stables, great and small. We're only going to talk about the great ones because there are too many small ones to mention. There are the Brotherhood of the Unbroken Bond, also known as the Unbroken or the Unshackled. They have a lawful bent, they are honor-bound, there are paladins and monks that are in their order. Most of them are human, a lot of them are worshippers of the Five-Faced God. They are so trusted that their gladiators, their true gladiators, are allowed to wander around the city without being chained. There's House Sildra. The Fae, the Sylvan Lords, have a chaotic bent. They are sylvan and magical. They are a secretive stable whose membership consists mostly of elves and Fae, most certainly the most important ones. They are backed by the surviving Fey and Elven families of the Imperium. The Hilt, or the Iron Lords, are known for being ruthless. They're a rising stable that does what it takes to succeed. The Ebon Shroud are ruled by a drow known as Lord Bane. They are also called the Shadowkin, or the Cowled, or the people, yes. They have evil tendencies, they're magical. They're infamous in that they count amongst their number many dark races, cutthroats, and mages. They seem to have an unending supply of goblins, which might be the reason why this drow is allowed to serve as the leader of a massive stable. And then we've got the United Clans. To understand the United Clans, you kind of need to understand what are the enemies of the Imperium. The enemies of the Imperium are the Ruakian orcs, who on their own home world conquered a dwarven nation. So these dwarves are subservient to the Ruakians. They're Durakian orcs, or dwarves, and Ruakian orcs. In one of the great conflicts of orcs on this world, the Ruakians got involved. They failed on this world, and the United Clans represent a loose alliance of clans of various races, mostly orcs and dwarves, but it could be other clans. You just have to be in a clan structure. And they basically have an agreement in their how should we say, when they submitted to the Empire, they agreed that they would continuously train and send offerings in the form of gladiators for the Imperial arena. So they're very traditional, but it's a rare thing to see this alliance between orcs and dwarves. So those are some of like the big league hitters. They've got some of the most powerful gladiators in the business. They're the most successful. These are the ones to look out for. And as a gladiator, you might want to, I don't know, be a part of those people.
Marty.
Yep.
There was a question from chat about the lore and how static it is, and we're just clarifying that should we feel that Bane should have his back broken and we're somehow able to accomplish the breaking of Bane's back, as he might have done to Batman in so many comic books, we can impact the lore because it's D&D and that's what we do.
Yeah,
we make lore.
So one thing about Marty's campaign is there's always consequence to actions, and it may or may not be the consequence you think.
It usually isn't the one you think.
Yeah,
Or want.
Breaker.
So I created these people because it's kind of like you would know who the rulers of your town are, even though you don't know much about them. I haven't gone into great detail. I actually haven't even showed you what they look like, because
Yeah,
by the time that they actually appear, you may have forgotten some of the details, and a lot of details haven't been provided. So there is a bit of like a cloak of ignorance around this, because these are only third level characters and they shouldn't probably know everything. The lore I wrote, I don't know. The sentences that I wrote for those lore, I did in an evening while watching a movie. That's how much I care about them. Now, I care that they're there. Oh, and they very much care that somebody's trying to kill them, if that was the question. Can they be killed? Yeah, they're going to try not to get killed. And I will play them like they're trying not to get killed if that's their personality. So, sure they could die. So could these gladiators, and so could these masters that you're about to create. I wanted to kind of go through that list to just give you give the players just sort of a sense of like who the big movers and shakers are. And a couple of the things that I'm going to ask. These are the questions that I'm going to ask when you guys are creating your characters. Is why? How did you come to participating in gladiator fights, like in this part of society? Like, why gladiators for you? These are the masters. So these are the people that are going to be managing the gladiatorial team. What is your relationship with the Empire. I wonder if I can reword these. Why do you love gladiators, gladiatorial contests? Why do you hate gladiatorial contests? Or what about it do you hate, detest, or do you love the Imperium?
That answer should always be yes. It's a trick question.
Do you
Nope,
hate the
like-
Imperium? Or what part of the Imperium do you hate? And then, same thing about the five-faced god. Are you a religious sort? I.e., five-faced god. What is your secret? What are your goals? What else am I missing? What would be a cool question for a DM to know about these masters who manage the gladiatorial ludus?
But whose dick did you suck to get in this position?
Oh, no, I'm not going to be putting that question down.
I mean, not literally that, but you get the drift.
Bad Tim.
Incorrect.
Ahmed was thinking it. Look at him. He's just like, damn, he's just already
No.
there.
Lose, it's how many?
So, guys.
I was thinking. No. The down the straight path here. Let's think about the.
Good word choice.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah. So,
What question would be important to the background?
Damn it! I'm trying to think. You guys are not making me think.
to reword the crude question, how did you join this stable? Like, how did you become a stable master?
The question I was gonna ask also is, do they have any family?
Yep, contacts and family.
Yeah, that's the
Family
Yes.
ties.
I sold him to the gladiator stable.
All right, so here are some things you may. How about their furs?
Fears.
Fears. Yeah. Loves and fears.
It might be furs, but I'm pretty certain that's fears.
okay. You guys are gonna hate my character.
Why?
I think we're actually going to do a who could be the biggest dick contest, just in general, and it's who could be the biggest
All right,
asshole.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win. You guys are gonna hate
All right.
this.
So the structure of the masters will be: I'll create an NPC or a series of NPCs, rivals or friends. I like that.
Alright.
Rivals, friends, debts. I'm just gonna make a rivals, friends, debts, weird collections, substance preferences, quirks. Yeah, I think there's enough there at this point to give them some things to think about. It's okay if there's none for some of these answers, but you should have.
I'll be back.
Okay. Now, I don't want all of you doing the same thing. So, like, you were eventually hired, coerced, maybe a slave. Yeah, are they chasing the dragon substances?
That's
Like,
a good one.
background is kind of what we're getting at here. But there are different roles that you can play, and I didn't really exhaustively list out rigidly what are the roles, because I'm sure that some of these gladiator stables could have a specialty. Maybe your specialty is you know everything about every other gladiator stable and therefore are able to match up matches properly. Maybe it's you have a wizard that is able to craft, and therefore your gladiators always have magical stuff when they go into the arena. Or maybe it's you have the best healer in the land. And I suspect that there's going to be there's other twists that I'm sure my very smart players will come up with. I want to be the guy who's the best at training gladiators martially. Well, maybe that's a thing that we could look at. And I'm going to kind of twist the campaign, and the elements that I concentrate on will probably be more suited towards the masters themselves. Like if one guy says, Marty, I want to be the guy who creates arms and armor, and I want to like keep track of every fucking weapon that's in the armory, great, we'll do that. If
Marty, I volunteer not to have that role.
Exactly. Adam doesn't want that role.
Inventory management.
But somebody might get a kick out of that. So
it's attaché case from Resident Evil. Attaché case management, the game.
So we're gonna keep track of XP for the we're gonna keep track of XP for the masters, kind of like they were characters. They're gonna get XP for having their stable do things. And it's going to be separate from the individual XP pools of the gladiators. So there will be training to level for the gladiators. There will be training for various things for the gladiators. I think even training for ability points, if they rolled really sucky, then they might be able to train their ability points up to like a normal level. Training to retrain feats, training to retrain levels. Of course, all this training is going to cost money, but yes, part of the schedule of gladiators that they're going to manage is what each gladiator is going to do, and I think we're going to divide the year up into 5-day chunks. It's what are they going to do? Are we using homebrews? Hells yeah! This is one big homebrew campaign. If there's a specific aspect you're asking about homebrews, let us know. Yeah, this campaign world did not come from a book. It came from... Oh, training to retrain levels would be nice for UG. Yeah, or retrain... Or train for Gestalt. Ooh, maybe that's a neat thing. I'll come up with these rules as we go, like as they start to... I kind of want it... So... I could have either spent the next 3 months devising all the rules for this campaign, or we could kind of roll with it, and if it doesn't work, we can retcon and keep going forward and having fun. So, oh, don't need no stinking levels. Wow, pulling out the Badgers reference.
Ugh, just what was that stupid 3.0 class where you got strength instead of Bab? Like Titan Mauler or some nonsense like that.
Forsaker.
No, it wasn't Forsaker.
No, okay, wait, no.
That was a 3-5 class. It was.
No, the one that Bellum.
Yeah.
Bellum was.
Yeah. Can't remember. It was in the miniatures handbook.
It was a baloney class. I didn't even have to play against it. I knew it was baloney. Marty described it one night, and I'm like, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Character race homebrew limits. There are some character races that I have created, and I usually go back and forth with some of my players offline on like, would you play this kind of thing, and that's usually my...
I want an anthropomorphic rabbit for reasons, and I don't get no anthropomorphic rabbit.
He's the strunkiest. All right, so I don't know what you guys want to do. Do you guys want to like roll initiative to decide your role that you have in the Ludus, and then kind of take things from there? I think the players need to roll initiative. Let's roll initiative. D20, right. The highest goes first.
5. I go last. Yes.
We'll see about that.
I'll beat
12.
You. Ooh, 16.
Last.
That's definitely not Lemmy
well,
Rock.
That's a D10. Right? That doesn't count, even if you got a 7 on the D10. It's a D10. Lucas is on the ball. He knows what's up.
All right, who's got what?
16. 16.
Ahmed's got 16.
Ahmed's got 16. Who's next?
Tim still needs to roll.
I did roll.
No, you rolled a D10.
fine.
He wants to go last.
11.
There you go, 11.
I still go to the same place.
I got a 12.
Adam or Mark got a 12, and then Adam
got
a
5.
5.
Adam got
Okay.
last.
All right, Ahmed. What role do you want your master to play?
He's a martial trainer.
So he's a martial trainer. Okay. Cool. Oh no.
Sorry.
All right, cool. Mark, what role do you want your master to play?
He is the maker of things, the brewer of potions, crafter of armor, gear.
Oh, so he's like the grand maker. Okay,
Yeah.
so the
The
grand
outfitter, let's say.
grand crafter. Okay. Tim?
Marty? I sent you a message. Skip me. Who was after me?
All right, Adam, you get to choose.
Well, I was building a conjurer, actually. Which would be a beast trainer? Actually, or money guy, because he's a bard. We can make him money guy, who just happens to be a conjurer. We gives him a side skill.
The money guy? Okay.
Yeah.
Who is also a conjurer.
Yeah,
Hey.
so I'm gonna try this summoner class because I've never really used it before, but he has really long summons, so he can make stupid shit for Goombas to fight. Yes, fight the fucking griffins, go!
But being a bard too, you just made everything you summoned that much better.
Oh yes, no, they're gonna kick your ass.
Treasure summoner. I don't know why we're doing this. Look at all this stuff.
There's gonna be a little bit of enchantment mixed in. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be good.
Enchantments.
Shaman. All right. So, let's see. We've got a token already for the enchanter. It looks like Adam did work in the 10 minutes I gave them. Woo! Before his stream, telling them what was going to happen. So there's Adam's. You chose a Nagaji?
I chose a Nagaji. Bunch of racists. I know how he got here. He got here because people blamed him for stealing money, and at last it wasn't him. He also hates everything. He's evil.
Cool.
Charismatic talker type. The big ass summon snake eidolon.
Is his name Pebbles or Pebbles?
Scales. That is a good nickname. That is a good
Scales?
Scales is a good nickname for the snake man money guy.
No Pebbles. Funny.
Uh,
All right.
oh,
Mark?
you muted.
Yeah, sorry.
Is Phineas yours, Mark, or is Phineas
Phineas is mine. Yeah.
Phineas is yours? Okay. Wow, you guys are quick.
It's almost like we were thinking about this.
Do you honestly think I don't have dozens and dozens of PC portraits ready to go?
Mark churns out characters while the rest of us are sleeping.
That looks like something from Dune.
It kind of does, but I thought it would work with this campaign.
Look at that neck. It's so long and delicate and snappable.
Breakable.
Check out his con. I already filled that in.
Oh, it is long and delicate and very snappable.
Yeah, he does not like to get in fights, I don't think.
All right, Phineas, where do we have you?
Phineas is the crafter?
Yes.
All right, there's Phineas. Ugh his life. It's it's Ugg life.
I didn't choose the Ugg life. The Ugg life chose me.
Yep.
The Ugg life chose me. Oh god.
All right, so we've got Phineas, Ahmed,
Yeah.
Magnus, cool name.
There is only victory in battle. Slaughter your enemies. Take their lives in bloody glory.
You're gonna do it, huh? You're gonna step up and do Arnie.
All the time.
Actually, the goal for all the rest of us is to not do it. All right, now you must not do it.
Magnus will just have endless tokens probably, but I'll pick the first one you put on your character sheet.
Give me the face.
Take the first one. Helmet.
Ah!
All right, so
The yelly one.
you've got your martial trainer. Yeah, and I'll help you guys come up with your backgrounds. I don't expect you guys to do it in a bubble.
I have a feeling that guy's background is he was a good gladiator.
Yeah, he might be a retired.
Relationship.
I have a feeling
My
that
sword.
he had something like a Samus type thing happened where he tripped and fell and all of his XP fell out. He fell down and he lost all of his XP. His power-ups went everywhere throughout the level.
Or people don't want to fight him. They just don't want to fight him.
No,
He won some fight that he shouldn't have, and then he's like underclassed but overclassed, and you guys know that, but he doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
20. What you do is you get in there, you roll a 20, then you roll a 20, and then you roll a 99, and then they roll a 1.
What could be another reason why he's a competent fighter, but he's not in the gladiatorial games? He was never a slave to begin with, and this is just.
I was thinking he was in the armies. He was with the military training. But he refuses to use firearms.
So I made one of the captains. This is the captain of the Hilt. His name is Sol Zaraster the Captain. Captain Zaraster was a privateer captain turned stable master who used his riches earned at the sea or on the sea to buy his way into the gladiatorial games. Ruthlessness is a trait that has served him well in both places, as the Hilt has earned a reputation that they will win at any cost. Captain Saul still uses his privateer connections to ensure a constant flow of slaves and recruits for his ships and the arenas. This means that he sometimes cycles in would-be privateers, pirates, uses them, tests them out in the gladiatorial contest for his own profit, and those that succeed end up on his ships to go privateering. So maybe something like that happened to Magnus, where Magnus came to the gladiatorial combat. He wasn't a slave. He saw the blood and the glory and the money that could be made and wanted to be it. So maybe even maybe Magnus is still even a like he could be a gladiator if he wants to, but he's basically a gladiator without the slave title. Like he would be, you'd have to pay him as a mercenary. They saw him fight a few times, and he decided, well, I don't want to go back on crappy ships to go die. I want to be part of this craziness.
Yeah.
For the glory of Crom or whatever.
The five-faced crown.
Yeah, Tim, it's up to you, man. We can help you. We can help you build something, or it's up to you.
Yeah, I don't know if this is my cup of tea. I've thought about it. I'll stay in the stream and watch you guys from the audience.
Sure, it's up to
Okay.
you, man.
And then there was 3.
And then there was 3.
Pat, when you show up in the stream, you connect to this shit, you son of a bitch!
Someone say Legends?
That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow, man. I play Legends, and then I take a shower, and then I get in the car and I drive to the airport. That's my tomorrow.
Do it.
There'll be 0 sleep. I'll sleep on the plane.
I see him. He's in the audience.
Plans are
In
for
the
us
audience.
sleeping. Hawkeye.
So Marty,
Yep.
if that is the case, then you can make my guy like because originally we were talking about
Is true.
money guy, but he could also just be talkie guy.
Sleep
I've
after
got
you've
the
destroyed your
charismatic
enemies and
Hawkeye.
eviscerated them.
Got it.
Um,
So, money guy, give me a second. Where do
a money guy is basically talkie guy, same thing.
money guy, talkie guy.
Yep.
All right. He can also be a conjurer. I guess the Grand Crafter, Mark, you would also look after the armory.
Okay.
And then Ahmed, the martial trainer, you're probably someone who picks, like,
Gladiators. I will take the gladiators, like the roster, and see. Good. Hold the sword.
So
Lift the tile.
take off to conjurer and put enchanter in there, if you could.
oh, I didn't even put your class down.
Yeah. No, we're gonna.
Originally, Adam showed me this picture on the stream.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on here?
Lord Flashheart.
Oh god.
Is this from Blackadder or something? What the
It
fuck
is from
this?
Blackadder.
I saw this
dude.
and
Okay,
lost
take it. Take it.
It's
Look
like
at
he
my
got
guy.
dressed up in his his aristocratic uniform like 5 days ago. I got dressed up for the party. The party was last week. I know.
I'm still in the party mode.
So yeah, I'm glad we'll avoid that. I'll pull that guy out later on.
You know, it reminds me of like the description is this. It's yes. Lord Flashheart. Yeah. See, I was just really looking for an excuse not to play the summoner because I don't like change. Stubborn old man. I go back to a sorcerer. Something I understand.
I see what you're saying. All my
Short
druid
spell
monks.
list.
there is a branch of the gladiatorial contest called the Conjurium, where there are summoners that summon things and they fight each other.
Ooh, can let me go?
Yeah, that is a thing.
But yeah, I wouldn't force someone to play summoner if they didn't want to.
The worry I have with the summoner, just as on the outset, is it's very difficult. It's very easy. It's a slippery slope to Pokemon trainer. He'll be Ashoka Ketchum by the.
Third class spell.
Lantern Archon, I choose you.
We're gonna go for a sorcerer, bard, enchanter.
I meant
guy.
Foxfire, sorry, man.
Help with morale.
Okay, Marty, how are we doing stats? 14's down the board?
Yeah, 14's down the row.
18. 18.
So sorcerer bard is
10,
good.
10, 10, 10.
Yep.
What is Phineas Garrett, Mark? What are his
His classes?
yeah.
Yeah, he's an alchemist, mind chemist,
I'm not even sure.
and
what
a
that is.
wizard.
Sorry. I think I'm changing constantly. Instead of bard, make that rogue because I've already got a sorcerer bard in one of the campaigns.
So Ashoka is a rogue instead of a bard?
We could probably have fun with that. I could make that fun. I think we just made a conflict.
Yep. I
Yep.
just
Yeah, I at the
changed
same
the
time.
thing.
I know what you're doing.
That's funny.
This is real gladiator arena.
Of course, there's gonna be conflict.
Come here, you prove yourself or you die.
Where the hell is Mini Johnny Cage? Oh, you mean the gladiators?
Oh, Mini Johnny Cage. Yes. Samuel, go Sammy! Dick punch!
There were the gladiators. So these guys are on their way to the Imperial City. I wanted to do just a scene with, or kind of devise who these masters were, and then do a scene with them, and then we'll get back to gladiators. So these are the ones that will be managing the gladiatorial stable. Now, I said I was going to come up with a GM type character, so like a secret owner or an owner. Now I need a good pick for an owner.
Vince McMahon.
That's a little on the nose, don't you think? This guy is going to be the in-between. I think I know who the person who is the true money behind the stable is.
Do the masters have archetypes?
Dana Carvey. Or not Dana Carvey, Dana White.
I was going to say Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey would be good too.
Fighter or barbarian archetype?
White?
As Master of Disguise, where he's the turtle.
Riley.
Fighter or barbarian archetype?
I'm looking for an aristocratic type. Wow.
Both pretty good.
Barbarian archetype.
If you want lots of feats, fighter is better. If you want to be big and strong, barbarian is interesting. I think there's more trainability in fighter, but whatever.
Somebody that the masters will end up hating or liking to hate.
The guy from Office Space. Okay. Gonna have to do that by 3 o'clock.
Yeah. I'm just gonna.
I have to ask you to come in on the weekend.
Yeah. Is that
TPS report. TPS report.
TPS report?
No. I have 8 bosses on my ass. Sorry. Fucking good movie.
Who's the actor that plays that guy? Because that guy from like another movie would be like, if he did something interesting.
It's called Office Space.
Office, yeah.
You mean the bad guy? Not the bad guy, but the
not
boss?
the bad guy. It's the
Bill Lumberg from Office Space.
Lauren, it's Dietrich
William. No.
Gary
Cole.
Gary Cole. All right, let's see what Gary Cole was in. You're going. Get ready, Cole. Get ready, Gary. You're going in.
I got one with him in a funny blue hat. He must have played some American history type military role.
I got him naked here somehow. I don't know why.
There is a scene in Office Space.
The one where yeah. Okay, yeah.
Oh, Marty, I found it.
Yeah, he's in Gary Cole on Mercy Street.
Okay, I'm gonna give you these two. Where's your where are you putting the pics?
Oh, he's got like a little vest on. Hey,
yeah,
look at there with his little red vest. Aren't you a gentleman there in your red vest? Oh, look at you, all frontierman like.
Are you putting under master?
Okay, that's one idea. I wonder if there's something a little more obnoxious.
You see, this guy. See, he aged well, or you put a beard on him, and it's hard to tell.
Yep.
What's the actor? He played the smart guy of the 3 guys from Princess Bride. The little.
Oh, Fez. What was his name? Fezzik.
No, Fezzik was Andre the Giant.
This guy.
The little, the measly little
with the lisp.
You think you beat me, but you didn't, because you think I'm gonna drink when I switch them, and then I.
That guy. Yeah.
Only he's never getting involved in a land war in Asia. Only slightly less well known.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's the guy where he's like
Only slightly less well known. Oh, it's just like the super nerd voice. And the thing that we do here with a bit of a lisp going, and you way too much sort of enthusiasm, and you just keep going.
I think I'll have fun torturing you guys with this dude.
Here, Marty, I got an interesting one.
Why are they losing, you buffoon?
Oh, he's got a bunch of like inconceivable faces. What is his name?
Oh, I don't know. He's one of those guys who you're like, oh, it's that guy that I know in all sorts of movies, have no idea what his name is.
You keep using that word. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yeah, that guy. Stars. His name is. Come on, IMDb. You can do it. Wallace Shawn?
Marty, I've got 3 picks for you to choose from.
No. Wallace Shawn.
I've created a Gary Cole page.
What's happening?
Wallace Shawn, Princess Bride. I don't know how you can't. This guy. I need his schmarmiest look. Yeah, there we go. Where he's doing the cup trick. That scene. Now I need a pompous name for him.
It's got to have lots of S sounds, so the lisp comes out.
Okay.
Oh,
Barbarian.
They are. So remember how last time we created a bunch of slaves turned gladiators? These are the stable masters of the gladiatorial arena.
Slytherin.
I like Theodore. We'll keep Theodore.
Theo. Is his name going to alliterate like most pompous jackass names? Estevan. Stephen. Estevan. Theodore Estevan.
Theodore Esteban III.
Esteban.
Esquire.
Just adding random crap. Just adding random crap. Yes, give in to your hatred.
That's too bad.
That's too bad, really. Unfortunate, yes.
Okay.
All right, there's the contact with the master. There's Theodore Esteban Valencia III.
Wow.
He's very smart. And can't
So
help
his-
but let you guys know how smart he is.
His int is really high, is what you're saying.
Yep.
How is his noogie tolerance?
And then we've got the true master whom you will meet. And I've got his token already.
Fuck, add a sir to that. Sir.
Nick. All right.
Crack.
See, Esquire, I find a little more pompous. It is a young nobleman who trained for knighthood or act as an attendant to a knight or an officer in the service of a king.
This guy being called an esquire is hilarious. Does esquire really mean is squire? Like, is that the Latin friggin' definition?
Yeah, it might be French, but it does mean an officer in the service of a king or a nobleman. So.
Drakester, the occasion for the game is that our schedules blow. Therefore, we are playing, and then tomorrow we are playing, and then I'm going to be on a boat. Boat, motherfucker. And then there's a song, and T-Pain starts rapping with the voice changer.
What shit are you smoking?
High end, but a trash wisdom. Yeah, I saw trash and high, and I was like, "Who's getting trash?" He's just full of like common housewife wisdom kind of thing, or just really bad fortune cookie wisdom. He tries to be inscrutable, but isn't. Yes, this works. This works for me. All right, I'm going to move the master Gary Cole sheet into the sandbox area. And I will add master, what was his name? I have to copy and paste this. It's too long. Typing. Arrgh. All right. Do we have our concepts?
I think we have our concepts.
Do we have?
Yeah,
do we have some answers to those questions, or I guess concepts, race, level, the basic build? So Ahmed, you're going with barbarian fighter. Oh, that's solid.
Just whack.
Magnus Deus. There's only victory in battle. Slaughter your enemies, take their lives in bloody glory. Oh, Conan.
I watched it like 2 days ago, so I was like, perfect, yeah!
All right, I'm going to create, while you guys flesh out some of the answers to that rough list of questions.
Okay.
Where are the questions?
The questions are on the master rough list.
You don't have to do them all, but just some sort of slap together a background while I create a few tokens for some important people. For some VIPs.
Okay, I'm gonna copy those questions and put them at the bottom of my character sheet. Magnus. No, hold on. I gotta watch some Conan right now.
Yeah, there needs to be some choppers, I think.
All right, there's going to be a big axe, and it's going to be called the Chopper, and...
Get to the chopper, just like...
Give me the chopper!
Give me the Chopper!
Why are we always getting to the axe? What's so important about this stupid axe?
Yeah, I'm not supposed to cut the bread, come on!
All right, I need a first name for the prince.
Okay, I love Conan.
It should be French-ish.
French or Spanish?
It's not a tumor. Oh, he needs a tumor familiar. Let's give him a tumor familiar.
It's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Actually, it is, says the tumor.
Who's your trainer? What does he do?
Who's your trainer? What does he do?
Kieran? Is that what I'm seeing?
You're seeing Kieran.
So
Okay.
Marty, I'm answering the
I need a
questions
name
with
for
comments.
his grandmother. This is the Imperial Dowager, grandmother of the Sovereign Prince. She needs to have a scary first name, like something that holds up on its own, like Cher. I like the E sound. Okay, I've got something that's kind of combination between the two, Eleonora and Shevna. Shevna. She is the Imperial Grandmother, the grandmother of us all. All right, let's say if I think I might have to come up with these as my own because I'm looking at the picture and I don't want to share. So the Regent Imperial of Avacia and Stygia, his name will be
Adam, when you get a chance, or you guys are gonna get a chance to read my answers to the questions.
Yeah. How many times?
This is when Marty takes out Google Translate and
Google Translate's your friend.
Google
Pick
Translate
an
is your
obscure
friend.
language and go to town with all your fantasy words. Do you know what's a good fantasy language? Greek. Like Slovenian. These are good fantasy languages. Actually,
Alright.
I really like using both like Japanese and Chinese are both really good. They have good sounds to them, especially Japanese.
We've got
Wait,
Regent Ryson de la Cova. He has a very particular way of speaking, as you will see.
you probably don't pray to Crom. I'm just going to say that you probably should replace Crom with something else.
Oh, the five-faced fine.
There's
I
the
pray to five-faced Crom.
the five-faced Crom. The five-faced Crom.
Nobody's arguing with this guy.
I'm gonna reuse a name from a really old campaign, Mark, for this guy. His name's gonna be Helmut Van Imp.
Oh, I hated him so
Van
much.
Imp family. I know that guy.
Asshole.
His
Helmut.
son is a bit of a poofter.
So much hate.
Yeah, but his friggin' chicken suit.
Yeah, this guy is supposed to have a name that is fearsome. He's the
Forgotten Grim. It's a good language. It's all it's good. Yogurt's good. Olives are meh. Not a big fan of olives. Oil's good.
all right, and I've got the Pontiff.
Actually, at work, there's a bunch of I work with a bunch of like Romanians, and it makes it funny because when you start using like bullshit Latin terms, like I've used a lot of like fake Latin, faux Latin, like Harry Potter style Latin, in Dominion, and when I'm talking about game, because I do talk about game at work.
Wait, what?
Of course, people, it's entertaining. People like being told stories. Meetings are long, so yeah, we talk about game. they like they like the because the language is relatively close to like original Latin. They know most of what's being. It's like you just use a bunch of bullshit, aren't you? It's like, oh yeah, it's most definitely a bunch of bullshit. You're doing it all wrong. Yes, it is all wrong.
Oh yeah, you're not not conjugating the verbs properly.
Oh, it's all wrong. Oh, it's so wrong.